Hi there and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new TRiDENT song Cry Out that just came out very recently, like in the last few hours, and that honestly I'm really excited to talk about because this is a group who, every time anyone asks me, Howard, who are the band who you're really tipping? Who are the band who you're really looking to be the next big thing? I always say TRiDENT, and therefore I'm always nervous when a new song comes out. Like, yeah, I believe they're going to be really good. Don't let me down. Keep on stepping forwards. And, you know, SPOOPY was probably the best song I've heard by them yet. So, how does Cry Out stand up? Well, we're going to start as usual by breaking down the song structure. And structurally, this song follows the fairly normal rock contemporary arrangement of verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, with the guitar riff at the beginning and end and peppered in the relevant places, you know, resolving the choruses and various things. So how do those individual elements work? Well, first of all, I do want to start by talking about that chorus. The chorus does something that I always talk about with really good writing bands. You know, the bands who know how to write the important things, the melody, the chord structure. It is a chorus that beautifully goes from a point A to point B. It's not just about getting something catchy and earwormy and repeating it over and over again. No, we go on a full journey. You listen to the chords and they beautifully go between minor and major chords, changing mood. You literally start with a very sort of tense beginning, a real sort of crying out feeling at the beginning of the chorus, and it sort of goes through to a much more feeling of it, oh, everything's starting to get a bit of a catharsis, and then burst through into the riff at the end, which has got that sort of descending line where you go back down to the, oh, headbanging, rocking, everything's a bit tense a bit. There is a feeling that you go on an emotional journey throughout the chorus. It's not just there to be catchy as it is a genuinely emotionally impactful piece of writing. And I love that. I love the fact that they have so well hit on that writing skill, that writing ability to be able to do something that is both catchy, memorable, makes you want to sing along, and at the same time actually feels like it means something. Now, as well as the chorus going through that journey and having like an emotional journey to it, the rest of the song does also flow very well. The verses are not exactly, you know, right home, gonna change the world, but they do nicely carry that progression. They nicely carry the melody through. There is a pre-chorus that builds everything up, and you ramp up to each chorus with a relevant sense of energy that makes them feel meaningful, that gives them the grandeur that you want from a good rock chorus. As I mentioned, that guitar riff, I really like it. It's very simple, for the best part, just a sort of descending scale, but it's nicely done. Something about that descending scale, it really feels like, yeah, your brain can follow it because you know where you're going rather than just sort of twiddle, 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 twiddle. It actually is something where your brain can follow it and you go, da, da, na, 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 na. I like that because it's very memorable, and at the same time that descending feeling gives it that kind of dark rock vibe. You know, everything's going down a little bit as it goes along. So yeah, a very simple but effective riff. So again, that goes back to the thing that I was saying, that this is a band who know how to deliver very effective writing, which is such a sign of maturity for such a young band. But we do still have to talk about the nuances in this song. See, for all of the fantastic and effective writing that I was talking about, this isn't to say that there isn't amazing musicianship on show here. Now, I absolutely adored the fact that if you watch the video, you can see it a little bit more. You can see all the guitar work happening. When you just listen to it casually, it just sounds like a steady rock song that you don't know why. It feels like it's got such a lot of quality. But when you sit down and really listen to it or watch what they're actually playing, there's some brilliant little bits of guitar work happening. I love the fact that in the chorus, even though that's the most rocking part, we're not just sort of getting blasted power chords. There is actually a secondary melody happening on the guitar that is countering and harmonizing against the vocal melody. That attention to detail is really here. And again, the fact that it's subtle, the fact that it's not in your face really works. There is some little bits where she flies into those fantastic flourishes of guitar, and then we also have the incredible bass work there as well. There is some brilliant little interesting flourishes and scales that are suddenly shot up and down at various points in the performance. But it's all very much in the mix. It's all deep in the mix. It's not turned up like, look how great we can play. Again, another great sign of maturity. And what also should be added to that is the fact that I like the fact that they're not scared of using a bit of production. There's a lot of these more rocky bands who very understandably kind of stepped back a little bit from using too much production, too many effects and things, because they're kind of scared of the idea that they might come across as being too produced, a little bit too fake. Rawness is so often what many hard rock fans really want. You know, you hear a lot of the time that a lot of hard rock fans we talk about on this channel, a lot of them, they prefer the live version to any of the studio versions of their favorite songs because they just want to hear it raw. I get that. But I think when you are being creative and when you're in a studio and you have access to all of those tools, yes, you don't want to replace your musicianship with production, but if you can get something which gives your song a little bit of a different sound, add something to it, why not? And you can feel those little elements in here, little elements of computer effects and just little things that they've done that give the song a little bit of personality, a little bit of an edge, a little bit of an intensity. The song would have just played live, but is just, you know, improved by having those nuances when you're in the studio and you can add them. So I felt this was a mature song as well, just in the use of nuance, the little bits that were put in there that weren't shoved in your face but were still ever present and gave the song more depth. And those are the aspects, those are the elements that give a song replay value, the things that you don't immediately cotton onto but are there every time you listen, are there to just give a little bit more depth to the listening experience. And talking of the experience, I do have to mention the video. The video was quite simple. It was very well put together. One of those videos that I often talk about where you can tell there's not a vast budget behind it, but the director knew, okay, don't overstretch, but make the most of what you got, make it effective, make it visually arresting. And a really good job was done here, you know, some nice simple camera movements, but always the camera's moving around the band, you know, in front of the band whilst they're moving, the little sort of in and out shots when she's got that weird thing where she's sitting in front of all the televisions. Only a few scenes, but nicely constructive, nicely cut between. And also, I have to say, it was so lovely to see the lead singer. I always get her name wrong. Is it Asaka or it's Asaka, isn't it? I'm going to get murdered by people. I've been such a fan of this band, but I am awful at remembering names. I'm pretty sure it's Asaka. I've joked before that when you see her in videos, she has a performance in her music videos where I'm always trying to get like a thumbnail for the reviews. And so you go into the video and you find like a good shot of the band or something, or the singer, you're singing. Her, she's always doing this and her hair is always flying in front of her face. And you think if you're in front of a microphone, you just sound like, you can't actually sing like that. But it looks cool in a video. However, in this video, it was nice to actually see her face. Occasionally, there were some shots where the director was like, hold still, sing to the camera. Yeah, I love the passion this band gives, and it's on show here, but there's also, it was just nice to see her face for a little bit. I go, oh good, there is a person there. But yeah, the video was effective, it was punchy. The band as always really throw their energy into it. They're a band who move a lot. I think Nagisa's performance on the drums, I do always remember her name, there's a reason for that, let's not get into it. She does a fantastic job on the drums, both in giving it a lot of visual performance, but also I love that she throws so much energy. There's really thumping beats in their songs, which that power behind the songs allows the rest of the band to be a little bit more, shall we say, a little bit more experiment with what they do. But yeah, it's just great to see that converted so well into a video. So I really liked the video as well, thought it was great. As much as I like the Spoopy video for having all of the craziness visually, this was a nice sort of simple, stripped back, more standard rock counterpart for that. But I think it's really important for me to talk overall with what this song means and where the band is going. As I mentioned at the beginning, we started reviewing this band back when they were girls rock band Kakame, and I remember at the time thinking, well, this is a good band, but I kind of felt like it was like there was a lot of good ideas, but it never quite felt like anything gelled. And I know a lot of people, I've read in the comments a lot of people talking about former members. I'm not going to get into that. I think this lineup, I think this is the perfect lineup. I don't want any of the former members back, just being honest. I think this is a great lineup. And so we followed them back from the girls rock band Kakame, and ever since they became TRiDENT, I was always saying, well, look, every song they did, what I loved is you could feel the purpose, you knew what they were going for. It wasn't always just the same thing. Yes, they're more just rock now, but they're not always tied to doing rock in the same way. It's not we're always going to be hard rock. Some of the songs are a bit more anthemic, a bit more arena-y. Some of them have a little bit more of a tripped out electronic vibe to them with production and craziness. Some of them are a bit more punk. I feel like they're a band who experiment well within the hard rock genre. They give their songs individual identity. They're not scared to be playful, and they're improving. Every time I do a review of their songs, we're always honest on this channel, and I always break down things where I go, I think they could maybe get better in this area, or get better in that area. Spoopy was the first song I heard by them where I was like, yeah, there's not really much I would really say needs to be looked at here. They just nailed it. And with this song, yes, okay, this is not as experimental, it's not quite as playfully experimental as Spoopy, but not every song has to be that, especially every single or every music video. You want your songs which are just more the effective, core sound, hard rock ones as well. And that's where this comes into me. It's furiously catchy. This is a song that I really think, for anyone who's not into them, or maybe not even into hard rock music, so long as they can get over the bridge into being into hard rock, they're going to like this song because it's got a great chorus, it's got a great flow, and the performance is just vocally brilliant. She's fantastic, nailing it, playing the guitar beautifully as well. Everyone is playing it to 11. I think, yes, they're early on their journey still, but they've got a long way that they can go now, and I think that they've hit that mark now where I'd say they've gone from being a band who are just, you could look at them and say, that is something to keep an eye on. They're now a band where you can look at them and say, yeah, they're there. I think this band needs to be taken seriously. I think this band needs to be doing the big shows. We on this channel, obviously, we've been long-time followers of Bandmade, who I think Bandmade succeed in so many of the things that TRiDENT are also succeeding in now. Being of a genre, but not being scared to be playful around that genre, and do things that might go outside of the norm. Have the fantastic musicianship, have that ability to always, to not look complacent, to always be looking for new things. And I think TRiDENT have definitely got that. So I could give myself credit for spotting that they were going to be on this path so early on. Yeah, I'm going to be one of those OG fans. Well, I was there long before they were popular. But no, in all seriousness, I really feel that my constant, every time I'm on someone's podcast and someone says, what band are you tipping? I always say TRiDENT. I feel my constant saying of that has been paid off. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get from them next. So let's get a conclusion down. Conclusion down. Is a conclusion done or a conclusion down? Let's get a conclusion done. It's a great song. Play it to anyone you know who's into hard rock. Share this band around. Let them be seen. I think that they are getting a lot of credit, but they're still underrated. I think especially with this song, I mean, Spoopy, yeah, might alienate some people, but if you've got friends who are into hard rock and you play them this song and they don't like it, maybe they're not into hard rock. Now, this is the sort of thing I would be very shocked if any hard rock fan wasn't into this when they heard it. It's great, brilliant musicianship, hits all of the impactful points that you want from a good single without lacking nuance. Replay value is there, catchiness is there, intense, like, emotional delivery is there. It's just, this is good. This is really good. This is really promising. Share it about. There you go. Leave your thoughts in the comments until I hopefully see you very soon for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.